What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Base Fuego and Sonrisa podcast, where we talk all things modern dating, present development, con un poco de limón y chile, tequila
Optional.
All right, guys, what is good? Thank you back. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody out there, for coming back for another exciting episode here at the Base Fuego and Sonrisa podcast, the number one various podcast. And don't you forget that. You tell your mama, you tell your granny, you tell your grandma, you tell everybody. This is the number one podcast in the whole world. But aside from that, right, we do talk about modern dating. So in this particular case or episode, I should say, we're going to be talking about why affairs happen, or how affairs happen, and why do they happen. Why do women cheat? Right? There's a lot of reasons why women cheat out there. Some people are left in the dust. Right? Sometimes their girlfriend cheats on them. They don't know why. They try to figure out. Maybe the girlfriend doesn't want to admit it. She just moves on from him, and or she tells them and they don't accept it. There's a lot of things, right? Why women will cheat. So today, that is our job, is to present you guys whatever facts we have, to explain the phenomena behind a woman cheating. But yeah, we'll get right into that. Any thoughts on
Cool.
that, Senor Sonrisa? How you feeling? Everything cool on your end?
Yeah. Just I feel like we talk more about how men cheat, and we don't really get into why women cheat or the reasons why and how. So it should be a really interesting discussion. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, cool.
Meta.
Yep, better. Hold on, I'm having technical difficulties over here.
Technical difficulties.
All right, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, guys, how do affairs happen, right? This is from the Gottman Institute, a research-based approach to relationships. So we didn't make this we didn't come out of our asses. This is
Yeah,
data
didn't pull
right
out of
here,
our
right?
ass.
So anybody out there, yeah. So for anybody out here who wants to debate me, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you want to debate, it's all good. But I'm just saying, right, there's data right here. There's data right here.
Yeah, we ain't just like
So yeah,
theorizing like some of these people are. Yeah. Anyway.
So
You're not a 6-foot
I'm
Chad,
sorry.
that's why.
Oh man. My boy Chargo, man.
Anyway.
My boy Chargo has his own opinions on all this.
Getting all frustrated.
So I don't want to mispronounce your name. Sorry if I kill your name, but yeah, Jenna Shrey, Rajendar Kumar. Sorry if I butchered your name. I hope I didn't. But she is the author of this article and or research. So yeah, just blog, I should say. And yeah, let me go ahead and jump into it. So right, guys, this is how do affairs happen. So what went wrong? It is hurtful and devastating when an affair shatters a relationship's trust and stability. It leaves both partners to pick up the pieces before starting all over again, which is painful. One of the questions that plague partners' recovery from affairs is what went wrong. That's true. That's very true. Even when individuals and relationships are unique, is there a commonality across affairs? So Dr. John Gottman with Dr. Carol Rusbolt and Dr. Shirley Glass explained an affair as a cascade of steps that culminate in a transgression. It all starts with the bid for attention. If it sounds like a simplified excuse for an affair, it is not. When one cannot count on their partner to be available in their time of need, it leads to unfavorable comparisons, emotional distance, and eventual betrayal, if not the demise of love. Based on the research, the steps that lead to the betrayal, the Gottman Rebus Glass case, are as follows. So this is all the researchers here. Before I get into any...
Oh, I was going to ask you, what do you think about that? Just the premise of
what part?
Just the way they're setting it up.
Well, I mean, it seems pretty cool. Can I just go here?
Yeah, there we
No,
go.
I can't. Hmm. Hold on. There we go. All right. Yeah, I don't know why it's being. There you go. I'm lagging.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah. I
Internet
mean,
lagging again?
yeah. I like the premise of it. I think that. Yeah. All right. Can you see me good, or is it how's it?
It's a little fuzzy, but you're cool. Now you're clearing up a little bit. There we go.
Okay. Oh snap. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I mean, baby. I like the premise of where they're starting, right? Especially the what went wrong part. I think that's like I mentioned earlier, it's just something that it's something that everybody has always wonders, especially if they're like very loyal, they're very committed to the relationship, they're giving their all,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden for the affair to occur, especially if it's blindsided, right? Like that's exactly what happens. Where did I mess up? Was there something
Hmm.
specifically that happened? Right. That's normally how when you hear breakups happen. That's normally how the fight goes. What did I do? What happened? You know, and it sucks because you think that your partner's with you, committed with you 100%. You're giving it your all, and then all of a sudden they just decide to cheat. So it's kind of whack, and I kind of like how they say like it all starts with the bid for attention. So right,
Hmm.
that's I mean a lot of people, especially a lot of dating people in like the dating space, the manosphere, right? They tend to say like, hey, women are out here, they all they want, they seek your attention. That's like their main currency is what they tend to say,
Right.
and for them for these doctors to come together in this research and also make that right find that data out that it also is for attention. It seems to be very interesting for sure, to say the least.
Mm.
But eventually it just sucks. But yeah, what about you?
I like how they said if it sounds like a simplified excuse for an affair, it is not. Because I think it starts. That's how it starts, right? The girl's asking for attention, and the guy's just not self-aware, and then it kind of escalates. It snowballs into something more, and then eventually, you reach a tipping point, and then either she leaves him or she cheats on him, and then the guy's just like, "Well, what happened? Like, I did everything I was providing," but like you said, if he's not giving her the attention and uh the space to listen to her, I think that's where things go wrong. And it's also like men or women are very different, just by biologically and mentally también. Like we're just way different, like the way we process things. So so it's understandable when there's tension, like you know what I'm saying, why those two two things would be very clashing. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy would be very
Yeah,
logical. Maybe
gotcha.
he's used to like oh sorry, cares my hands. A guy's very logical. Can't get my camera right. The guy's very logical over here, and then the woman's like very emotional over here, and then they just end up, you know. Maybe the guy's used to fixing things, and so his problem solving skills, he's used to fixing the lights, he's used to doing all that, and she's used to just expressing her emotions and being all about, all that stuff, and so you kind of have these battle of ideas in a sense, and there's like talking over each other and like two people not wanting to meet in the middle, and yeah, I can see why there would be so much conflict between a man and a woman if you were to put them together because they're so different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly what you said. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. Exactly what they also say in the article too, right? No, exactly what your point is that right? Even though it may sound like it's simple, like it's really not. Like, oh yeah, just kind of listen to her, or hey, she's more in tune with her feelings. She's more seeking more of the like companionship or relationship, as opposed to guys. We don't really think like that. We don't think, hey, let's be in a companionship where we really are in tune with our feelings. We're more like you said, logic. We have things to do. We have things to fix. That's what gets us. That's what drives us. That's our motivation to do things like that. To get our hands dirty. So we have different interests in that sense. We have different things
Hmm.
that give us purpose, that give us joy in our day, and that's like you said, exactly. That's what makes it like. That's where the conflict comes in for sure. Because
Well, there was even a
yeah, we
study. Well, I don't
sometimes
remember
we just like
the
different
exact.
things.
Well, that's my
Mm-hmm.
point. So there was even a study where these are
Mm-hmm.
like toddlers, right? These are kids that can't even speak, and they would give a set to. They'd put like 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 how would I say, like family oriented toys, and then they would put like dolls, like things like that, and then they'll put like on the other side they would put like trucks and cars and more like material like things, and you'd put the toddlers in the room, and the girl toddlers, this is before they can speak, they would gravitate towards the more like social things, the dresses, the girls, and they'll even play doctor and what is it that girls that like to play like mom or like house, game house, like to be like the mom, and they're carrying the
Mm-hmm.
baby and all this stuff. This is when they're like babies, toddlers, right? This is before they can even speak. And then
Yeah.
the boys tend to pick up trucks and firefighters and like construction and cars and just things that are more material grounded in the world. So, and this is before babies can even speak, right? So there's something there, right? Can't just say, oh, social, everything is just social, like, you know, there's a biological difference. And if
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
ignore that, then there's like, we're kind of we're playing stupid, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great point for sure. Yeah. I mean, man, when I was a kid, I was freaking having combat sports. I wasn't trying to role play. I was
Yeah.
having these dudes fight each other and fucking wrestle and stuff. Like, so nah, I feel that. It's interesting
I
for sure.
remember like when I was a kid, I would always gravitate towards like trucks and shit like that. So, just as a boy, like that's just what you gravitate towards. Just like giant monsters trucks, like crushing
Yeah.
cars and like, things like that. Yeah.
Heck yeah. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let me go ahead and bring this back up.
All right,
Lecture is
cool.
cool. All right. All right. All right. Yeah, you can see it, right?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Turning
Okay.
away.
Okay. So yeah, uh, turning away. Yeah. Uh, partners can make an so turning away. Partners can make an emotional bid that is met with turning away or turning instead of turning. But is met with turning away or against instead of turning toward. Turning away would include ignoring or being preoccupied with something else, while turning against would be a retort or a lashback. When when would you like to plan for oh man. When would you like to plan for this weekend is met with a silence or can't you see that I am busy? The bidding partner feels rejected and hurt. Over time, repeated failed bids lead to reiterating. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
damn! What the
reiterating.
heck?
Mhm.
I don't know what the heck's going on with me. Over time,
How much
repeated
pot did you
failed.
smoke, brother? How much? Be
Uh,
honest. Yeah.
you gotta talk to my boy Chargo, bro. You gotta talk to him.
Of course he would know.
over over time, repeated failed bids lead to reiterating the belief that you are not there for me, and trust associated with the partner starts to erode gradually. And anti-separatory rejection starts
Mhm.
to flood stress, the bidding partner, making them feel vulnerable, insignificant, or unwanted. So, what are your thoughts on that one, brother?
I mean that's kind of like the whole like are you gonna do okay. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's kind of like the whole stereotypical like when they play in a movie or something, like the girl's trying to get his attention, and then the guy is just like either too busy on his computer, says go away, or and I think, yeah, I can see like if you were to do that, like as a guy to like if a girl's trying to get your attention and keep doing that, I can see why she would start slowly like uh residing. You know what I'm saying? Slowly, like emotionally, not confiding in you. I don't know if it works the other way around. Like if you're trying to get the girl's attention and then she tells you to kind of like, I think so. I'm trying to think of like a scenario when a guy's trying to get a girl's attention. What do you think?
Maybe like I don't know if it's too ahead, but when he's like trying to initiate some type of like sex,
Ah,
right,
that's a
and
good
she
point.
rejects him.
Yeah.
So right, that's gonna make
Or
them
she
feel
says
hurt
I'm too
too.
busy or whatever,
I'm
right?
tired. I'm
Yeah.
sleepy. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
I can see how that's a good example. I can see how that can lead to resentment or just stop attracting.
Yeah, exactly. Like the ending of it says like an anticipatory rejection starts to
Mhm.
flood the bidding partner, making them feel vulnerable, insignificant, or unwanted. So right when she's rejecting you to get physical, especially hella times, right, it's gonna make you feel unwanted. It's gonna make you uh, start like well, at first, right, it might be like they'll start like either partner, right? At first they'll start
Mhm.
like for me, I don't know if it's either or, but I think for me, I think the steps how it would go would be like, first is like the ignoring, right? Like, yeah, I'm busy, or just like, or just not answering the question that you ask. And then over time, it does become that lashback where, right, where the guy's like, hey, I keep asking you to like lay, like, I keep asking you to, oh, no, not even that. Like, if she's like, hey, can you help take, he's already fed up, right? And he'll be like, yeah, you want me to do stuff for you, but you won't have sex with me, right? Like, it'll be like things he'll just like calling her out on. And that'd probably be the girl too. If she feels like she's like, I know I'm just getting to sex. I don't think there's steps before sex, right? But for me, the only examples I can think of is sex. And like for a woman, it'd be like
Mhm.
if she starts feeling like an object, right? If she starts feeling like an object,
Mhm.
then she's gonna also feel that type of resentment too, or like, right? She's gonna want to run away, right? Kind of escape having sex because she's not gonna feel unwanted, but she's gonna feel like insignificant, right? Where it's like I'm just this
Yeah,
object, I don't mean anything to him.
the example I like your example, by the way. The example that I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking was like more when the guy just came back from work and she wants to like um or the guy's already at home or something like that, but pretty much he's doing something, like he's focused on a task, and then she wants to tell him about his day and all this stuff and how Veronica, blah 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 blah, right? He's like, I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? I'm busy. Go away. I'm doing something, or can't you see I'm doing something? Like, you know what I'm saying? He always says something like that, and then she's gonna take it like a certain type of way. Now, if he does that like once in a while, I think is different. But if it becomes like a pattern, like it says there on the Gottman Institute, then yeah, I can see where she's gonna start feeling anxious or what was the other thing that they say? Anxious and what else?
It's vulnerable,
Insignificant,
insignificant, and
unwanted.
yeah,
Yeah,
unwanted.
yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that's a cool one too. Actually, yeah. I want to hear about
Do
my
you want me
day.
to?
Hell no, I want to hear about
Yeah.
that.
Can't you see I'm working on this tire? Brenda, leave me alone, okay?
Oh, jeez.
It's just like the stereotypical '80s movie, bro. Like
Yeah.
just any scene from Married with Children. Any scene with Al Bundy working on his shoes.
Oh yeah, he like finds some excuse not to do something. He's like, oh hell no. Oh man, that's my boy right
By the
there.
way,
Boy
also
out Bundy.
I also have the page on my end too. So if you want me to read some stuff too, we can take turns as well.
Okay, I'll go ahead and share the screen, and if you
Okay,
want, you can take the next one.
sure.
All right. I'm here now.
All right,
So
cool.
negativity and
All right,
avoidance.
so right after turning away, we got negativity and avoidance. So what is? Oh, what the heck? There's like a feedback.
What happened?
I hear an echo on my
Hmm.
end. All right, let me do some real quick.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck? There's still an echo.
Hmm.
Hmm. What's going on?
Let me see something.
Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, testing. See, now there's no echo. Testing, testing.
Yeah. So let me find that real quick.
Ooh, it was about to get juicy right here. This next part.
Oh, maybe not.
Hmm?
Let me see. I want to see something real quick.
I'm gonna test. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no more echo.
Okay.
I
Okay,
don't
I
know
got
what
it.
you did, but
I
you
got it.
you fixed it.
No, you hear? Do you hear echo or no?
No,
Oh,
not this time.
oh, is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. Okay, cool.
All right. All right. A little IT problem, but it's all good. So you know how the internet is. All right. So now we're getting to the juiciest part: negativity and avoidance. The bidding partner soon enters a negative absorbing state, which is the negative affect from past failed bids, building up with every new failed bid. It gets easier to get into the negative state, but challenging to exit it, resulting in a persistent negative state of mind. Soon, unheeded requests turn out to be stressful and pointless arguments. Therefore, bidding partner suppresses feelings and needs, leading to avoidance of conflict and self disclosure. Hmm. All right, let's have the discussion now.
All right, let's get it.
So,
And
what are your thoughts on the?
cool.
Oh, there we go. So you were reading it as well. So what are your thoughts of that negativity and avoidance?
Hold on. Yeah. So
So I guess I'll say my point first. So
yeah.
yeah, so it starts off turning away, and then yeah, and then the partner that's like continuously trying to put the effort in, it starts to get into a negative mindset, and then once you start with the saying, once you get into that negativity, like what's the point? Like every time I talk to this person, it's just like talking to a wall or avoidance. Then you start getting into that the negative mindset, and then it's once you're in that negativity mindset, it's very difficult to come out of it. I think that's what it was talking about. And I can see that, like for your example where the guy keeps trying to go talk to the chick, his woman, his wife, his girlfriend, whatever, and she keeps turning him down, making excuses and all this stuff. Eventually, he's gonna either shut down or, like it said here, avoid conflict and self disclosure and suppress their feelings. So yeah, it's pretty much just a shutdown.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't have much to say. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with everything you say. Regards to like right after a while, after being denied so many times. I mean, even though that's your partner, you just kind of give up having these conversations. You kind of just hold it in, even though you're upset that like, hey, she keeps denying you. Like for me, I mean, right, the example of sex, right? She keeps denying
Yeah.
that, then right, it's just over time, it's just you kind of get to a point where you're just like, oh, there's no point of asking, but deep down, you're like really upset or hurt, like what the hell, like we used to do this thing, now we're not. So yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. I mean, sometimes it's like, what's the point of trying? Just
Mhm.
what's the point of having these conversations if it's going to lead to nowhere? We already had these conversations multiple times. You already know how I feel about it, but I still ask you and you still give me the same response. It's just like, all right, like, and that's why I know
Here we
that's where we're gonna get there. But yeah, but
Yeah.
that's how we're gonna
That
get. Yep,
downward
but that's how
slope
we're
is hard
gonna.
to come out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll save it for now. But I mean, that's the point we're getting to right now from that. But uh, yeah, I'll just save it for that moment.
Cool.
But yeah,
All right.
we can continue.
All right. I'll let you do the next part.
All right, investing less and comparing more. When partners favorably evaluate the relationship compared to other alternatives, they are more likely to stay committed to a relationship. As DeBoat and Kelly suggest, therefore, the unfavorable comparisons propel a relationship towards a lack of commitment and betrayal. The bidding partner starts negatively comparing the partner with a real or imaginary partner who would make them feel cherished. As approaching the partner with an emotional bid is found futile, bidding and investing in the partner reduces. As approaching the partner with an emotional bid is found futile,
Hmm.
bidding and investing in the partner reduces, while sub, substituting.
Substituting, yeah. Hmm.
I don't know why it looks different right there. While
Uh,
substituting begins.
substituting, yeah,
I don't know. For some
substituting.
reason I was looking for another B for some reason. Substituting begins.
Substituting, yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's how I feel about
Yeah, I
that one.
mean,
So it's mhm.
yeah, I mean,
No, go ahead,
once
brother.
you start having, oh, sorry, yeah, once you start having a negative, you're already creating a negative image of the person, and now you are creating unfavorable comparisons. Like you're starting to compare this negative person to somebody who you think is, maybe like you have like an image of something that you have more ideal. Then that's when you start looking around like, huh, what are my other options? Um,
Mm,
yeah, and that's what they're saying right there. When the unfavorable comparisons prepare relationships towards a lack of commitment and betrayal, the bidding partner starts negatively comparing the partner with a real or imaginary partner. So right there, that's the key right there. Right there, imaginary partner, real or imaginary. That makes them
yeah.
feel cherished. So yeah, that's what that's it's that's how that's how things like relationships that like this, it starts off with one thing and then it just kind of builds, as you can see.
Yeah,
It
heck yeah.
started with the
Yeah,
it
these are
started
definitely
with
steps.
the turning away, and then now we're at investing less and comparing more. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, I'd love to hear what you had to say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, nothing too much, it's just yeah, it's just part of the right, it's just part of the steps of how an affair is going to happen, right? Like I said, you start comparing, like exactly what you said, you started weighing your options, like, huh, okay, like if she's not like this, I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there who, will cook for me or will listen to me or will have these conversations with me, will
Hmm.
uh want to be more open, more sexually attracted to me to have sex,
Yeah,
right?
we'll
You'll start
engage. Yeah,
thinking that
exactly.
as opposed to like, hey, yeah, like I have my partner right here. This is who I'm supposed to be doing all of this stuff with. But you know what? Maybe it's too good to be true. It's not. She's not what I thought she was. There's gonna be something way better out there. So let me go ahead and find that. Which is
Hmm.
where you start slowly letting go of this relationship. You start slowly investing. Start giving your all. Right? You kind of just start pulling away from the relationship, which ultimately, right, it's gonna end the relationship. But uh, sometimes before that happens, right, people have affairs, which is like the ultimate sign that it's done deal. But yeah,
Hmm.
again, right, like I like what you said. That was a great point. Just started kind of looking around, seeing what's out there, just making up these people in your mind, or creating perfect partners in your mind, and start believing that they're actually out there as opposed to your partner who's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, right? You already told your partner so many times, hey, like I like this, I like that, do this, do that, and they just tend to want to argue, and or say no or ignore it, then right, it's gonna lead you down that path,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just this. Yeah. All right.
all right, brother, I'll let you go on this one.
Okay. Feeling less dependent and making fewer sacrifices. As Rustbolt notes, commitment is a gradual process of making good comparison levels. Sorry. Commitment is a gradual process of making a good comparison level for the relationship within alternatives. Similarly, the opposite process of uncommitment is a gradual process of damaging comparison levels with other options. Damaging comparison levels with other options. Commitment leads people to make sacrifices while building interdependency. It also leads to disparaging alternatives in comparison to their partner. As reliability or dependability on the partner lessens, trust reduces. The partner opens up to others and engages in talks or self talks that magnify their relationship's negative qualities. Ooh, man.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot in there. Um, the opposite process of uncommitted is a gradual process of damaging comparison levels with other options. As reliability or dependability on the partner lessens, trust reduces and opens up to other people. Yeah, I mean that's just how it is. Like, I'll go ahead.
Oh my lord. There we go. What the? Yeah, no, StreamYard was lagging. Mm-mm.
That's all good. I mean that's just what it is. The person is already looking. They're seeing the partner negativity. They're investing less in their relationship, and now, uncommitment. The process of uncommitment is a gradual process of damaging comparison levels, and as the reliability or dependability lessens, trust reduces. So, and as the trust reduces, then they're going to start telling other people more about their situation, and that's where that's I think that's where once you get to that point, I think it's very difficult to come back from that point. Like
Yeah.
I guess here's an example, right? So the guy maybe he has a girl, and he tells her about his situation. He tells her he wants to get up, but she keeps either humiliating him, nagging at him, or other things, right? And uh, then he starts looking around, like we said in the previous step. He starts looking around, saying, "What's a better option out there? Who's actually gonna give it up? Who's actually gonna be cool? Who's gonna be able to cook? Who's gonna be able to do all this other stuff that, I have needs and I want them to be met." And then as while that process is happening, maybe he has a coworker that's a female, and he starts telling her things about his life and stuff like that, and he starts trusting in her more than his own uh, lady. So, and then that already starts opening up the door, to something else. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Heck yeah. Exactly what you said, right? They start opening up to other people, and then that advice, right? Oh, like if right, either partner, if they start talking
yeah,
to their friends about the relationships, right? The friends will start kind of also uh direct them to like, hey, I know some might be like, hey, work it out, but then right, there'll be other friends who will be like, hey, like, you know what? Maybe you should start looking around, or maybe maybe Tom from down the street is single, and maybe you should go start talking to him, right? They'll start directing you to other people as opposed to your partner, and right, because all you're talking about is the negative aspects of the relationship. So the friend,
yeah,
though, right, what a friend's gonna do is try to help you out. So right, that's their way of helping out. Is hey, if it's not right here, if it's not a good relationship or maybe toxic, right, then hey, maybe you should go ahead and go meet somebody else. So right, having those conversations, engaging in talks with other people, that's gonna start moving you towards possibly having that affair too, because now you're gonna be more open to actually meeting the person who you have made up in your mind is out there for you. That
yep,
imaginary person is he's right there. So you know what? Now they're telling me to go do it. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I should go do it. And right, a lot of times they're not really thinking logically, right, or having respect,
hmm
because at this point you don't really have respect for your partner as much. So if you
no,
cheat or if you don't, I mean, it really doesn't matter to you. But and that's why it still would be considered an affair, because yeah, right, your feelings aren't there. You kind of feel like it's already over, and you go and hook up with somebody else, but you forget, oh yeah, I'm still in a relationship, or you're like, oh yeah, this is a relationship, because you're just like, oh, over it
yeah.
already, even though the relationship's not over. So yeah,
Well,
freaking
like they
whack.
say, like in that last sentence, engages in talks or self talks that magnify the relationship's negative qualities, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
they just go like, the I can't think of like guys doing this, but I can see like a group of women sitting down and be like, "Oh my god!" Like, you know what I'm saying? They'll say something negative about their partner, and then other girlfriends will agree with her to kind of give that confirmation. She's boss babe. She can do no wrong, and then that kind of leads into like, because you don't have anybody telling you anything else. You know, you're just getting confirmation from your friends and your family. You know, and then you don't have anybody saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, are you sure you're not doing anything wrong? You know, is there something that you're not doing?" Like, then yeah, that happen. You know, that's how it starts to go downhill, and not in a good way.
Yeah. Man, F that guy. You can do
Yeah,
better. Go out
yeah.
and go out. Let's go out. Let's go for a brunch. I know these people. Yeah,
Let's
dudes, I
go
don't
to
know
that
dudes really.
club. No, let's go to that club. You
Yeah.
know, girls' night and blah
Shit.
blah blah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah,
know what? You need a girls trip. You need a girls trip. Let's
yeah,
just go to Vegas. Let's go
yeah.
to
Yeah,
Miami.
Miami. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's go. Let's go over there.
Or
Like we need a
LA.
girls trip. That's what you need. You need to get away. Yeah, we need to get away from all of this. Like, oh,
Mm,
okay.
yeah.
It's for fun. It's for fun, right? It's for fun.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's for fun, all right, but
Mm-mm.
not the fun that you're thinking.
Yeah, not for the partner. Partner is screwed over for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's
But
all.
the person who's out there, I don't know. I don't know why they're going over there. But all right, you want to go?
Check out the guy taking those down. Yeah.
All right. The next part, trashing versus cherishing. So,
Yeah.
as one maximizes the partner's negative qualities, one also minimizes positive characteristics. The four horsewoman thing in WWE, the four horsemen of the apocalypse: defensiveness, criticism, contempt, and stonewalling become rampant. Dr. Gottman suggests that people committed to the relationship cherish their partner by reminiscing about the positives with gratitude, even when not together. An essential part of a relationship, cherishing and expressing gratitude, is replaced with trash talking the partner directly and in front of others. Exactly what we were just talking about.
Ooh, yeah,
Exactly what we were just talking about.
yeah. What is I always what
So,
is contempt?
mhm,
What is contempt?
it's a good question. Um, held in contempt.
Oh, I
I don't know.
see.
I don't
So
know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I clicked on it. I clicked on the link. You know how there's the
Mhm.
content is hyperlinked. So I clicked on it, and it says the author
Mm,
even suggests the author thought the same thing. But content isn't I hate you. Content is I'm better than you. And
mm.
the contemptuous partner is bent on conquest, seeking to ensure the other knows who is superior. Mm.
Oh, so they see. So they probably will view the partner as like beneath them or something like that. Then,
Yeah,
right? Because they're better than them. Yeah, you're
yeah,
you're
yeah.
beneath me.
Because I understand. I
I'm a
understand
10.
defensiveness, stonewalling. No, it's not just I'm a 10. Is I'm a 10 and you're a 7. No, it's not just.
Oh shit! No, no, no,
It's
no.
yeah. It's not just I hate you. It's that I'm better than you. I'm superior than you in every aspect because I do X, Y, and Z. And
Mm,
even here it says, uh, yeah, it says the contemptuous partner is bent on a conquest, seeking to ensure the other one knows who is superior. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's what it is. And then criticism is often most packaged in "you always" or "you never" statements. Yeah, stuff like that. So that's
mm-mm.
one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. It's defensiveness,
That
what is it?
criticism,
Defensiveness, criticism,
content,
content,
stonewalling.
stonewalling. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Uh-oh.
I'm back. I just want to turn off the heater. It's getting hot in
Oh,
here.
okay. Oh
Yeah.
shit! What you got in there? Spicy jalapenos.
Spicy senoritas.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. Guatemalan or
Oh, jeez. It's a mix of all. Damn. Ooh, damn. Ooh,
Uh,
damn. That'd be crazy.
Watermelons are hot, 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 hot.
Damn.
Latinas in general, any Latina, from Mexico all the way
Yeah.
down, hot.
All the way down. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say on that. I think I got to that point on my last point, basically, right? Just
Yeah,
start talking smack in front of other people, you don't really care no more. And yeah, just it
I
sucks. I
think I,
mean,
I
once you
think
hear that,
the last point is it's similar to this point, but I think this point is probably worse than the last point. I don't know which one's worse though. Actually,
mm,
the last point is that you no longer have trust in your partner, so you have to confide in other people. And this point is um, you're now starting talking shit. You're being defensive and all this stuff. You don't even see your partner as equal anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this one's more. I think this one's worse because the first one is like, or the one prior was like, um, right. Even if you're going out and talking to people or talking to yourself, it's still not like anger. It's still more like
Mm-hmm.
still a little sad. Like, man, I can't believe this is happening in my relationship. Like, this sucks. Like, I don't know what's going on. But then the next one is like, I don't give a fuck who I'm with. F him. This relationship sucks. He's horrible. Blah blah blah. Right? It's like it's
Oh, I
oh,
see
so
what
now
you're
you're
saying. Yeah.
angry. Like, yeah. Now you're angry. Like now you don't really care. Yeah, fuck that
Or
girl's trip.
or another way of thinking, which is very common, which is like, oh, he's not a man. He doesn't do like leadership things. He doesn't lead. He doesn't do
Mm,
it right. That's what girls would think, and the guys
yeah,
can be
start talking
like,
hella
well,
shit.
and then the guy might think, damn, she's like such a bitch, and she doesn't even like talk to me. She just nags. She just humiliates me in front of other people. She does other these like women are very indirect, so they'll like humiliate men and do other things. But she's talking shit to my
Yeah,
parent
passive
about all this other
aggressiveness.
stuff. Yeah, passive aggressive, exactly. Yeah. So yeah.
So
All right, all right.
yeah,
Let's.
so
This
yeah,
is
yeah. So
it's
it's getting
getting
worse. It's
worse.
getting worse.
Here. All right. Let me know when you're ready.
So I think we're at resentment and loneliness. Yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah.
brother.
All right. So resentment and loneliness in a relationship. This is probably the worst part. Well, it gets worse than this. Oh shit. I guess so. Resentment and loneliness. Gratitude for the partner becomes replaced with bitterness. Resentment seeps in with silent arguments such as feeling the partner is selfish and uncaring. There is loneliness enhanced with unfavorable comparison, like my ex would have understood me better, or my colleague is more there for me than my partner. With loneliness, vulnerability to other relationships increases. The built up resentment results in low sexual desire and impersonal sex. The refusal to have sex may result in the partner's blaming, leading to further feelings of rejection, and the affair cascade intensifies. Yep. Dude,
No.
man, that's pretty sad. I've been there, like like you think you're in a relationship with somebody, but you're not really. It's like it sucks. That's all I can say.
Oh snap.
I don't want to say too much, but yeah, when you're more lonely when you're with somebody than when without somebody, it's the shittiest feeling. Because like they said, like because you feel
Man.
like the person isn't like understanding you, or that you start comparing them with other people. Like you feel like your coworker understands you better than the person like you're with. So yeah, exactly. The built up a result. It's resentment. Yeah, that's where you start getting into the resentment category. Like it's not like I no longer like you. It's now I'm starting to hate you. Yeah. What
Yeah.
do you think about that? Like once you start getting into that resentment category.
Yeah. Heck yeah. No. Yeah. Just the resentment sucks. You know. Just I don't know. To for me, it sucks because like to go from like you loving this person and then all of a sudden you hate this person is to me it's hella sucks. Like dang, like just angry about like what could have been, angry
Mm.
about this person who's like, right, because it's so bitter, you start thinking like, man, this person, they lied to me, or they sold me a dream, they said they were like this but they're really not, and they, they
Mm-hmm.
still are. It's just, right, it's just
Mm-hmm.
all everything that occurred before just got you to this point where you can't see anything positive about them. All the things that attract you to that person, all you see is like the anger and the negative self-talk and the friends and all that. It's just makes that resentment even powerful. And that's why, that's why sometimes some relationships end off and bad, right? Obviously an affair is horrible, right? That's obviously, but like,
Mm-hmm.
right, that's the path that it takes you. That's the path that's leading you to basically to that affair, is having this built up resentment, just hating the person that you're with. Especially if you live with the person, it's even more whack, because, right,
Yeah.
you hate the
Yeah.
person, but you still have to figure out moving out, all the logistics of moving out and starting lives together. And right, and if you really hate each other, then they might just leave on you. They won't even try to build any, or not build, but they won't even try to work anything out. They'll just move out on you
Yeah.
randomly, and like, damn, like, and for you, you'll probably be even more upset, but you probably won't even care because you're just so upset as well. Like, damn, leave. I don't get. I don't care.
Yeah. But you see, you're starting to see the processes of how it start. I mean, it's not like sometimes it feels like I don't know where,
Yeah,
but it's interesting to see the process of
yeah,
how it begins, right? And we can
yeah. Because that's the thing
theorize
people
and all
don't
this
talk
stuff.
about.
Oh, but it
No, go
starts
ahead,
off
bro.
with like, oh no, it's just interesting to see like it starts off with like just little things, and then just it just starts building up,
Yeah, yeah,
just like how
exactly.
like
Yeah,
you
and
build
that's
up.
the thing. Like, that's what people.
Go ahead. There's a
No,
delay
no,
in
go
our
ahead, go ahead.
freaking.
I didn't mean. I didn't know you. I thought you were done.
Oh,
No, I thought you were
I
done.
am.
My bad.
I can't tell with this delay.
No, just go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all I was saying. All I was saying was that it's interesting to see how something people say it comes out of nowhere, but it just starts off slowly and then it builds up to where you know it does end up to an affair. But there was all these other subtle little things that were happening, um, and you're just not aware of it, or the other person isn't aware of it, and you know it leads to a climax, unfortunate climax, like for somebody else.
Damn, man, I feel it. It's right. Right. It's like people don't talk about those parts. Right. It's normally like, hey, the person cheated on them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she cheated on him with I don't know, the mailman or the plumber or whatever, right? But never breaking down, well, what happened before that? What were the steps? Kind of being the detectives out there. What happened to lead to this? They didn't just cheat all
Mhm.
of a sudden, but right, that's normally what's being told. Oh, they cheated, and that's it. That's all you hear. Oh, they're a cheater. Blah blah blah. Blah. So it's like, yeah, it's interesting. I like this. I like this research doc, because yeah, you can see all the steps, and for anybody out there that's hopefully not in this situation, but is in it, you can kind of see like what happened. You can go back to certain events that happened to you, moments where you asked for something, you got denied, or she asked something and she was denied, and building this underlying resentment that you guys don't even know one has for the other. And then also too, it's
Mhm.
like also for people to avoid if you're in a relationship, right, do the things that you don't get to this point. So it helps
Yeah.
out both for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%. That's why we talk. Even though this is about cheating and stuff, I think if you look at on the other side of the other side of the aisle, you can see it as a way to learn. Also, like, oh, these are the steps. Like, oh, so what can I do to prevent it? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm seeing this. This is happening even in my relationship. Oh shit. Like maybe I need to see. Maybe we need to start getting into like really having these deep discussions that we keep trying to avoid. You know, and we talked about this with anti-fragility, and we talked about it with relationships, whether it's your family. This is beyond just like your family or whatever, but this can happen with your family too. You're putting away those difficult discussions because maybe you want to keep the peace and whatnot, but sometimes you need to have those difficult discussions, or else that's how resentment builds. And then instead of hanging out with each other, you guys are hanging out with your friends or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
All right.
So don't guys, right? have these conversations, man. Have these conversations, guys.
Yeah, man. That's what
All right.
anti-fragility is all about, man.
So,
All right.
hell yeah. All right. So next one, idolizing alternative relationships. Ooh, excuse me. There's less dependency on a partner, less resilience, or less reliance on the relationship for meeting essential needs. Less investment in the relationship while idolizing alternative relationships and thinking fewer positive pro relationship thoughts. Instead, anti relationship thoughts take over, like maybe we'll be better off with each other. It may be a relief to let go of the relationship that hold on. Then hold on. The window between the partners is replaced with a wall. As the windows open up to outsiders, other harmless liaisons provide the safe house.
A liaison, I think, is how you pronounce it.
Liaisons.
Liaison. Yeah.
Let me see something.
Pretty much a third party comes in and takes over. That's what it means.
Oh, cool. Oh man, it doesn't have it here. Never mind. Okay, cool. A third party. No, curse you,
Yeah.
everybody.
And
Curse you.
we ain't
Curse
talking
you,
about
plumber.
and we ain't talking about the Christmas party, okay? We ain't talking about the holiday party where the eggnog gets punched. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
There's so many.
But maybe in that
Jeez, there's
holiday
so
party,
many.
that's
But
where
oh
the window starts
no.
opening. That's where that window
Yep.
opens up.
Yep. You're just like, all right, okay, oh, okay, okay, cool.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like it
So,
says, maybe like it says anti-relationship thoughts take over. Maybe we'll be better off without each other, or maybe you're relieved to let go of the relationship and hold on. And then that's where it's like, game on. That makes sense.
yep. Yeah, she's open for business.
So is
Okay,
he.
well, all right, see what's out there now.
Uh,
Yeah, they're both ready. Yeah. Well, so there's that.
all right, last one.
All right,
Try
let
to
me
make
go
it juicy.
ahead. And, all right.
All right, taking it to the moon, baby. Last one. All right, secrets and crossing boundaries. Secrets begin with omission. The other patterns, such as inconsistencies, lies, confidence violation, follow. While in cherishing relationships, interactions with others that hurt the partner are avoided. In denigrating, I don't know why I said that. In denigrating relationships, ties with others are sought to fill the prevailing emotional gaps. As the hiding increases with the partner, there is an active turning towards others, and as vulnerable moment and at a vulnerable moment, boundaries are crossed and actual betrayal unfolds. As one partner goes through the cascade of betrayal, the other partner experiences the ground sinking beneath their feet. Trust is broken and, over time, may develop into post traumatic stress disorder.
Sheesh.
And then there's all the references at the end.
Shout out the references.
Hella references. There you go.
Hell. And yep, that's
Yeah, man. That's really how it is. It's just like once you cross that, once those boundaries are crossed, I mean, but you can see where you can see where the love starts turning into like resentment, and that resentment starts turning into like seeking out other options.
yeah.
I mean,
And then
what do you think about this whole process?
yeah, no, I like that it's broken down into steps, or I guess you can even say patterns, right? This might be
Mhm.
this pattern follows a lot of people because of the research that they've done. So it's nice to have the pattern so people are aware of what to look for or where they are in the relationship too. Just seeing if they're in a bad place in the relationship, they can see this pattern, this research, and just kind of fix it from there, and or you know, break up if that's the case too, instead of cheating. Just break up. but
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I mean it sucks though, right? It sucks that the cheating occurs. But yeah, it's cool. Again, it's cool to have the right. It's cool to see how they get to that point and actually have the information there, as opposed to, like I said earlier, oh, they just cheated. And you're left wondering why. Like why did she cheat on me? Why did you cheat on me? Like, we're together. We've been together for so many years. Like, what happened? Like, what happened between us? Where did it go wrong? So this is a nice reference for them to use or to look at in case they never get that answer solved. It's good to know that these could be, factors that contributed to that, which is definitely going to at least help relieve some of that stress, kind of bring that peace to them, um, in case they don't have an answer to. And then, right, for the ones who cheat, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense why they cheat. I'm not saying cheating is cool, but it makes sense how they get to that point, right? If they were like the ones who were trying and their partner is just like neglecting them and not wanting to have
Yeah.
sex and just pushing them away. I mean,
Maybe not
right?
cooking the meal, maybe not doing things for them as much, all these other things, you know.
Yeah, not showing affection, not
Yeah.
spending time with them, not making time for them, making time for the relationship. And the person also gives up too. Um, right? It kind of makes sense why they go out and cheat, because it's like, if I'm not getting it from you, then there's people out there that will give it to me. I'll
Hmm.
find someone. So I mean,
I also
I
would
kind
like
of feel it too.
I also would like to say, I think before it gets to like the trashing versus cherishing part, I feel like
Mm.
there's still a way to salvage it. Like there's, but
Mm.
like I think there's like it's going downhill, 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 right? Slowly. But I think there's a point where there's a way to save it. But once you hit that point, I think it's really like hard to like come back from it. You know what I'm saying? Like once you start getting into the trashing, once you start criticizing, contempting, stonewalling, and being defensive, I think after that it's very difficult to. I mean, it's possible, but that those two people would have to put a lot of work in, you know, to prevent
Yeah.
to prevent you know a crash. And by a
Yeah.
crash, I mean affair. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the thing too is, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's an end all be all, because right, there's relationships where maybe that's just part of the relationship. But I think if like your partner's talking smack about you in person and behind your back, just like how bad you are in the relationship and things that they don't like about you, I don't know. I think for me that just started being a sign where I'm just more so like, okay, all right, maybe I could because one thing is for you as my partner to tell me in my face I'm messing up, right? Or hey, I need to work on things. Not nagging, but right, just little things that I know that I'm messing up on. For example, she likes to spend at least half an hour every day with each other, maybe talking about each other's day or sitting down and watching a movie together, something where you both are doing something together, just
Hmm.
spending that time with each other. Um, and then, right, you just start ignoring that, letting that go. And she brings it up one day, like, hey, we made this plan that we're supposed to hang out, and you keep avoiding it. You keep making plans around it. Like, what's going on here? Like, I feel like you don't care about it, right? Something like that makes sense, right? Because it's not nagging. It's really just really calling out something like, hey, something's going on here. This is bothering me. We agree to it. You're not putting much uh, companionship in this relationship, so it's right starting to affect the relationship, starting to affect me, starting to not make me happy. Things
Hmm.
like that, right? Right? It's cool, but um, yeah, just things
I
like
have
that make
I
total
was
sense.
I have a question for you. You said unless it's part of the relationship. What did you mean by that? Like
What do you
having
mean?
an affair? Like you said when you were saying like, do you mean like having an affair is part of the relationship? Like, or
Oh
do you
no,
mean like having an open relationship?
no, I meant like there are couples who like talk smack about their significant others,
Oh.
and oh yeah, to other people, but
Hmm.
it's not because they're trying to break up. It's just right. They just want to just chop it up.
I mean that could, but like you said, I mean that's already a sign that if you're already venting to other people about something
Yeah,
that's inside a relationship, that's not a good sign. I mean that's like yeah. I just think that that's not a good
like
sign. That sign is
yeah,
like yeah, that doesn't end well.
yeah. Like for
If
me
it,
personally, I take it as a red flag if I'm in conversation with people and they just start going off about their significant other in a bad way.
yeah,
I take it as a red flag. Like I'm like,
yeah.
huh. But right, there are going to be people out there who are going to say, oh, that's just how our relationship is, and it really is just how it is, you know. So
I
I
have a
think it's
question though
like,
for you.
mhm.
Sorry. Are you gonna? You can finish that thought, and then I'll.
No,
I'll.
that
I'll
was it. No, that was
oh,
it.
okay. So my question to you is, some people believe, and we've talked about this in other podcasts. Some people believe that in order to have a successful relationship, that the guy should seek counsel from other guys. So instead of telling his problem to his woman first, he tells it to a counsel a bunch of guys. They advise him to how to handle the situation, and then he goes with that advice to his woman. So there's that aspect of it. Um, would that be considered going outside the relationship and talking smack, or I guess it would depend if it's about her or if it's about something like problem, right?
So yeah, so there's a little thing that's missing. So right, if a guy goes and he talks to his friends about
Mm-hmm.
advice, and yeah, maybe he's going off about things she's doing wrong and all that, but he's seeking advice, right? Like he's like at
Mm-hmm.
the end, he's like he tells his whole spiel, right? He lets it all out, and at the end he goes like, "What can I do?" or "What do you think about this?" or right, they're seeking some advice. Then I think it's okay because you're giving the person who's listening to you context of what's going on. You're not necessarily trying to bash them. You're just telling them what's going on. So I don't think that's bad. But when it's like unsolicited and you're just going off on the person, like right then it's like it's different, right? Then it's like you are
On
really
other
talking
people,
smack.
right?
Exactly.
Oh,
Like
gotcha.
no one's talking about a relationship, or maybe they're talking about the relationship. Like, yeah, my husband took the kids out to the park today. Oh, my boyfriend, he picked me up from work today. And then you just come out like, yeah, I hate my girlfriend. She's freaking heck annoying, right? Everybody's gonna be like, what? Like, it's just kind of like, what's going on? Like
Mhm.
that's talking smack as opposed to like, hey, we're everybody's talking about relationships, and then you're just like, hey, this is going on in my relationship. Yeah, she's messing up. She's hella annoying. She's acting like a bitch right now. Blah blah blah. But hey, I'm still trying to work on this, or tell me what I'm doing wrong. There's something I'm missing. Why is she going off on me? Right? It's totally different because you are seeking advice. You're just giving them context of what's happening in the relationship. That's why you're asking for that advice. So yeah, I think it's a bit different. I think it's a bit different. Yeah. So that's how I would answer that. I
Cool.
think. Oh, so no, just kidding. Yeah, that's how I would answer it for sure.
No,
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I had to think about that for a second, but yeah, I guess it's if it's about a problem that's within the relationship, I think it's different. But if it's about the person, then yeah, like if you're trying to assassinate their character and trying to like go after the person, then that's already a bad sign. But if you're talking about problems that are within the relationship to people that are maybe older and wiser, maybe because they have advice or they can guide you or they have solutions that maybe you haven't thought of. I think that's a little bit different. But now just thinking about it, you're right. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, that's
little
how I would
different.
see it.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna ask you something. How was it like? Oh man, I had it, but I think you already answered it. But I'll just re-ask you again.
All right.
Um, so yeah, let's say you because you did mention like salvaging the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before it gets to the it gets to the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
What are some tips? What are some things that dudes can do to salvage the relationship before they get to that point? Like maybe let's say, for example, they started uh they started having like negativity and avoidance, right? They're trying
Mm-hmm.
to avoid that conflict. Like what would you advise if someone came up to you and asked you that? Like, hey, I want to have these conversations, but I just feel like there's no point. I'm running into a wall.
I would say whatever you're running away from is what you need to run into. So whatever you're trying to run away from, whatever that conversation is what you need to actually have a conversation. So instead of running away from it and trying to pretend it doesn't exist. Because what you're doing is you're pretending the problem doesn't exist, but it's growing. It's like when you sweep dust under the rug long enough, you're gonna trip over it, right? So, um, yeah, whatever you're trying to run away from, you got to run towards it. And then, you know, depend you got how the argument goes is more important than like how like if there's like if she tries to find solutions just like you are, and she's really trying putting effort to finding solutions and not trying to attack the person like yourself, that is more important than what the argument is about, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, right. You both are trying to find some solution to make it work, or yeah, to make it work, to keep it going. I'm telling you, the only examples I can keep using is freaking sex, right? Like I don't know, I'm just maybe a very sexual guy. I don't know what the hell's going on with me, but right, it's like if she's trying to find out ways, like okay, maybe let's 7 o'clock I'm tired from work, but or maybe 8:30 I have a little bit more energy. Then let's try to go to 8:30 instead. Um, I don't like having sex, you know what I'm saying, before eating meatloaf on Wednesdays. So let's not have meatloaf. Let's have salad or something smaller. But right, like you said, she's still trying to find solutions with you to make that happen for both of you guys, so that you're happy, she's happy too. But if she's going off like right, if she starts attacking you or like tries to just go off on you or bring up random things uh oh well, you don't do the dishes and I don't know why you're even complaining, like I do so much, I'm tired all the time, like it's kind of like okay, well maybe this isn't gonna go maybe there's not enough to salvage here, like
But that could be a symptom of a problem, right? Maybe the
mhm,
argument is the dishes, but maybe there's something, maybe that's like her like breaking point, so to speak.
yeah,
But there's something underneath that. Obviously, it's not about the dishes, right? There's something else
yeah,
that's bugging the shit out of her, but she doesn't know how to express it, or she just gets irritated to the point where she just blows up. Um, and you like, and we talked about this before about like what your job as a man, what you're supposed to do. Try to carry yourself grounded. Try to still be sexual, be flirty, but also like listen to her and stuff like that. So there's that, and then I was gonna go with something else, but I completely forgot. So yeah. So what you're talking about when two people are, they're single. I mean, not they're together, but they don't have kids. I think when it has kids, that changes the whole like relationship because then the kids become priority. What happens to a lot of relationships, I think, is they put the kids on a pedestal, which is for good reason, right? But sometimes what happens is they put them such high that the relationship suffers. So less sex, less communication, less flirty, less all that stuff. So I think, yeah, it's cool to like take care of your kids, but I think you should also have your relationships should still be up there. Like if you got to schedule time for sex, you got to like as lame as that sounds, you got to do it. Because once
Mhm.
once the sex goes out the window, bro, it's no bueno. You know.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no,
Then
that's a great point.
yeah, I think people who have kids, I mean, it's a little bit different, but you should always. I mean, like I said, Tom Billy, people who are interested in relationships, because I used to be that guy, but I'm no longer that guy. uh, so there is a whole podcast called Relationship Theory with Tom and Lisa Bilyeu. Tom Bilyeu is one of the founders of Quest, the food brand. Very successful. I think he even became a billionaire and everything. And now he has this whole impact theory, and one of his theories is relationship theory. He does with his wife. And so what they do is they have podcasts usually via Apple. Sometimes they post clips on YouTube, and the people are asking them questions, and then they'll try to solve. He's a very intelligent man, so is she. So they you see them both trying to find solutions for people who are asking all these questions, and they give pretty good advice. So that's another resource, besides you know uh, the Gottmans, and they're pretty good. If you want to know like about people who like according to like his own study, like the Gottman, Mr. John Gottman, or I believe is his name, he's able to predict with 93 or 95% accuracy if a relationship will be successful or not based on how they argue.
Dang,
Not
what the
about
heck? That's
what you are.
cool.
It's not necessarily about what you argue, but how you argue, and there's a difference. Because sometimes there's this like pop culture like super positive like only be positive movement, but that's actually very that's actually very detrimental because we don't have the arguments. Then the arguments actually will actually take you to that next level, but when you don't have it, it like decreases your value, or it makes resent. So like if you don't have the if you have the argument, it can make you better, but if you don't have it, it'll bring it down and probably create resentment. So so there's like it's like you said, there's a bunch of resources online. Like I said, there's Tom and Lisa Bilyeu, there's the Gottmans. If none of that works, you can go to somebody who's a therapist or couples therapy. Um, what else? Also recognizing your own faults. You know, maybe having a therapist as well, or just talking to your buddies if you know you can't afford a therapist. Asking their point of view and be like, hey, like for the guys, you know, talking to your buddies and be like, hey, like there's this thing going on. I really want your objective view on it. And the guys are a little bit better about doing that than the girls, but because the girls are just gonna hype the girl up, you know, hey, nothing wrong with you. You know, f this guy, and you know. But the woman who's telling that to her friends, she needs to tell her friends, hey, I need you to be honest. Like, am I messing up somewhere? You know, and if the answer is yes, because it takes two to have to fight, then the girlfriends need to hold her friend accountable. Because if she doesn't, then they're gonna hype her up, and she's doing something wrong. It could be like something as humiliating. It could be as passive aggressive, like you mentioned. It could be other these little things that she's doing that's causing him to react to get even more angry or defensive or whatever. Yeah. What do you? I mean,
Dang.
what are your? What would you give? What's an advice you would give if somebody tells you, "Hey, there's this going on. What should I do?"
Yeah, I think you hit a lot of great points. So I think I would just be more echoing a lot of it. But yeah, definitely for me, I would say the main thing is trying to figure out the what's called the root of the problem. What's going on? What are you missing? What are the underlying details she's telling you that you're missing out? What is she saying to you? Why is she fighting you? Why is she ignoring you? What are the reasons? What did you do? You know, like for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's I mean, I try to find both, right? I try to see who's accountable for what, but I like to start off with the person who's coming to me with that advice. I want to know exactly what happened, what you're feeling, what are you saying that she's reacting like this, and
Yeah.
then from there, right? And then from there, try to break it down. Um, so yeah, I read there's a lot of research out there. There's a lot of people who talk about marriage and being in relationships, long-term relationships, people who are in committed relationships, right? Monogamy, monogamy,
Monogamous. Yeah.
right? So that's the lives they live, and right, if you're in a relationship and that's the relationship you're in, then right, take that advice. So definitely do that. Don't go listen to polygamy or other
Yeah.
than, you know, say don't do
All
that
right.
because they have a different, they still have their own set of rules, but it's not the same because you're
No.
committed. You It's just only you two. It's exclusive to you two. So you need to find out people who are into that, um, and definitely find oh man, yeah, find people who are really doing well at what they're at. Um, I know this is gonna be kind of controversial, but I do like I do like people who are married and giving advice, but I don't like it all the way. There, right? There's people who are good, but then there's also people who are just kind of together, like complacent, and they don't really give the best advice. So, um, so man, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of tough to
Like I said, I think Tom and Lisa. I mean, to me, I think Tom and Lisa
tell.
Bilyeu has done. Honestly, I mean, they've been in a relationship for I don't know, like fucking 20 something years. I mean, I think
Yeah.
if you've been that long and you hear them like when you listen to their like the podcast, you can hear the joy and you can hear the flirtation and you can hear all that. You know, sometimes we like to look at relationship based on longevity, but two people can be married for 30 years and hate each other, but just do it because of the kids or the religion or whatever, right? So it's not just about the longevity of it, but more about the quality of it.
Yeah, that's exactly it right there. Yeah. So yeah, you have to see who the people who are in relationships. You have to see what the relationship's about too. Right? There's relationships that there's people in relationships, but they're both cheating on each other. There's relationships where it's toxic, it's crappy, but they're still somehow going out. Right? That's not advice you want to hear. Like you said, Tom Bill you and Lisa Bill you. I don't know much about them like in regards to the relationship, but I mean they've been together for a very long time. So right, that's somebody you can definitely listen to. But yeah, just be careful of the advice you're getting out there because some people are in relationships and they have really bad advice. So
Wow.
see the people who are doing well, you can still see that passion in their eyes. Ones that still kind of flirt with each other, banter with each other, kind of,
Yeah.
the dude still hasn't given up. Doesn't seem like he's not trying anymore. Doesn't seem like he's content in a relationship and just chilling, right? That's you're not gonna learn much from that person. You gotta see the people who are still actively trying to keep the relationship going, trying to keep it fun, try to keep it uh kind of youthful in the sense, making
Yeah.
it feel like it's still there, like it's still something new. Those are the people you definitely want to get advice from.
I mean, Tom and
Because
Lisa Bilyeu, they both like they
Mhm,
go on their Instagram and stuff, and they both say like number one, like how to make a relationship last. They have like 5 rules or whatever, and the
mhm,
first one is like have sex often and keep it fun. Have
yeah.
sex off. Like they literally just go straight to like the first thing is like sex, right? And then they go. There's other rules, but I mean, when the sex, when they're both saying to the world that sex is important, and they're both looking at each other, and with sparkle in their eyes, you can tell that that's something that is legit and not just like a facade. Like, who was it? Will Smith hitting Chris Rock.
Oh shit! Oh hell no! Oh man. Well, hopefully, I'm saying. Hopefully, he's still,
Will Smith, he had it
having,
hard, bro.
yeah. Hopefully, he's still, having, sex with his wife. I mean, I'm hoping so, right? But if he's not, that's whack.
I don't. Yeah.
That's whack.
Allegedly, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I love the Fresh
No,
Prince, but
I mean, she had partners. I mean, I mean, right? She's in an
yeah,
entanglement, but I mean, she's
yeah,
dating. Basically, he's already got banged by other people. So
yeah.
like,
She has a what? They have a one-way open relationship, but the other way, the way that guy doesn't want to have it. You know what I'm saying?
oh
It's not like the
yeah,
guy has a one open; it's the other way,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. She
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know, but
yeah,
right. So yeah, you don't want to.
nah.
That's advice you wouldn't want to take because right,
Yeah, exactly.
they're not in a monogamous relationship. They're in an open relationship. So that's not advice you would want to take. But yeah, that's what I would say. Just be careful of that advice too. Who you take. Make sure that these people are really committed to each other and really trying to be with each other. Because again, right. Also too, right. There's kids that come along and maybe that kind of kills a relationship, which it shouldn't. You still should be able to keep it going, but it is harder, but still, right? Though you tend to see some people who have kids, and it's just like you don't even see the passion anymore. It's just more like,
Mm-mm.
which is cool, right? You got to take care of the kids for sure, but you can just see the passion gone. Like the
Well,
wife doesn't really seem there, or
it
the father.
it becomes more of it becomes more like a business transaction. Like these are your responsibilities. You got to do this. You got to do that. Which is, you know, I understand. Like when you have kids, I guess I don't know. I don't have kids, but I guess when you have kids, like you're taking them to school and outdoor activities and stuff like that, which is cool. But if you don't leave anything for yourself and your significant other, then those kids are going to end up having to go to two different households that could have
Yeah,
been prevented. You know what I'm saying? Could have been prevented.
heck yeah,
Sometimes things.
and
Oh yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, brother. No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, but sometimes it fizzles out. Sometimes relationships end too. So at least if you know that you put in all the work, then you have that peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? You put 100%. Versus like I could have. But yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, it's not interesting. Sometimes I'm just like, the thoughts there, I hella forget. But I was gonna say, and the other thing too is like, right, your kids too, if they see that you guys are both really happy, you guys still kind of joke with each other, still have
That's
good
true.
times around each other, it's gonna make them feel way happier. It's gonna make them feel like, oh man, like, I can't wait till I get in a relationship, or like, I don't know, I don't know. I think it's just a super cool feeling to see both of your parents still like in love and like happy with each other, like still joking around with each other. Like, I mean, obviously, right, you're not gonna be public displays of affection because you're gonna gross the kids out. Like, no, don't do that. But right, just to see you guys still hugging each other, still, telling each other you love each other. Maybe like a kiss goodbye before you guys head out to work, stuff like that. They see it, they like that. They're like, oh, that's freaking cool. Look at my parents, like. I mean, they're not thinking like, right, when they're young, they're not thinking like, hey, this is a happy relationship. They're thinking like, wow, like, cool, these are my parents. This makes me happy. Like, damn, these are my parents, and they're really happy with each other. So, yeah, I think that too, man. You guys can keep that fire going in that relationship after kids. She is gonna make you guys even a more happier family. It's gonna make it. I don't know. It's just making it hella sicker. So, definitely that would help out a lot too. So, yeah, just if you can salvage a relationship if it's going bad, please do so. If you guys want to be with each other, but like you mentioned, if it does fizzle out, because that does happen too, then at least you guys tried, which is
Yeah,
better than nothing.
and you have that peace of mind that you did try.
Yeah, like
Not like
you know what?
regret, like not like, oh man, I could have put 25% more and it might have still worked. I don't know. You have that uncertainty. You have to care. You have to live with the uncertainty that it could have gotten better. Right? It could have been
Yeah.
better. But anyway, now that we know about the how, let's talk about the why.
All right. Um.
It was pretty interesting though to know about the how though, huh?
Yeah, I liked it. All right. Do you want to go over the one that you sent me today, or should we play a video?
Um, like I like the lady, but I don't know.
I mean, the one you have is short. It's way shorter than the one we just went over. So
Okay,
that
yeah, let's
that
just
that website, yeah,
yeah. Why do
it's
people
way
cheat?
shorter. Yeah, it's way shorter. We'll get done with it quick. So yeah, we could do it. I think it's like what,
Like,
2, 3 paragraphs, something like that. It's like a short
yeah,
three
let's just
out,
go over.
3 out. Can you send it to me though, brother, on the private
Okay,
chat?
it might be something different, but we don't have to go over the whole thing. This one's a little bit longer, but we don't have to go over the whole thing.
Oh, it's not okay. Yeah, cause we're at 122, so we gotta get it done in like 38 minutes, basically.
I do want to. I'll show you where to like pretty much read it.
Okay.
It's
Oh
literally
yeah.
just one paragraph that I think is the most important.
Okay. Let me go ahead and share the screen. So yeah, I realized that when I share my screen, I might have to just update or something. But I realized when I share my screen, the internet doesn't pick it up well.
Mm,
So yeah, I think it's like too much for my laptop. So I think that's why it's lagging and all that. Because when I don't have it on, right, it doesn't lag. The whole is perfect when we're conversating. But
yeah, you're right. Do you want me to share my screen? Would that be easier?
yeah.
All right, I'll do that. Let me.
Okay. You can see the screen.
I can see your screen, but if it's causing too much lag, I can do it on my end.
So yeah, let me know. No, I mean it's cool. If it starts messing up too much, then yeah, I'll hand the mic or I'll hand the screen to you.
So pretty much where it says the
Which part?
investigation. We could talk about right here where it says
Okay.
there are many reasons why people cheat. I start there and then just end that paragraph, and then that's it. That makes sense. So there are many reasons why people cheat, blah blah blah, and then the investigation included that, and then
So
that
from
paragraph,
here
and
to
then
here.
that's it.
Wait,
From
it's
where it
just this
says there
paragraph.
are that
Oh,
paragraph plus
I
that
see. Right here.
there are many reasons. Yeah, yeah, just that. Yep. I feel like that covers
Okay.
the main points.
Okay. I'll just read from there. Then there are many reasons.
Okay.
There are many reasons why people cheat, and the patterns are more complex than common stereotypes suggest. A fascinating new study sheds some light on these motivations. The investigation included 495 people, 87.9% of whom identified as heterosexual, who were recruited through a participant pool at a large U.S. university through Reddit message boards with relationship themes. The participants admitted to cheating in their relationship and answered the questions at the root of the mystery. Why did you do it? And an analysis revealed 8 key reasons: anger, self esteem, lack of love, low commitment, need for variety, neglect, sexual desire, and situation or circumstance. These motivations not only influence why people cheated, but how long they did so. Their sexual enjoyment, their emotional investment in the affair, and whether their primary relationship ended as a result. Oh,
Hmm. So there you
8 key reasons: anger, self esteem, lack of love, commitment, need for variety, neglect, sexual desire, and situation or circumstance.
go. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
that's it.
¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Yeah, so,
I'm wondering.
yeah, guys, that's kind of the reasons. Mhm.
I'm wondering. So before, like there was like kind of like a code, like where guys would say they wouldn't. I mean, I feel like a lot of guys won't, but there's some guys that do where it's like you don't go after a girl who has a relationship or whatever. There used to be that code, but I feel like nowadays that code is starting
Oh,
to
yeah.
like that code is like there's some guys who just are not giving a fuck at all anymore and are just going after.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that contributes to more affairs and if that is contributing to like people not being loyal or whatever.
Mm. I would say no. I don't think so. Yeah, no. I don't think that
Because they're
contributes to it.
they
Maybe
could
maybe a
have
little bit.
they could have gone after somebody who was single, but they had to go after somebody who was in a relationship, right?
Hmm. Yeah, but I
You
mean
could make
ultimately
that argument, right? You can make that argument.
no, yeah.
I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean
kind of.
maybe a little bit, right? Yeah. I can see how it kind of could. Like just like yeah, just a little bit, but nah, cuz I mean it's ultimately up to the girl, right? She say no or I have a dude, but I mean, she
Mm.
ends up doing it. So, right, you don't trip into vagina, right? It just happens, right? So, right, it has to be consenting. So, nah, I
Oh
think,
yeah, I see what you're
yeah,
saying, but she could have said something, but also if she does say something, and okay, so I guess here's two scenarios, right?
hmm,
If a guy goes approach a girl, and she says she has a boyfriend, I I guess the ethical quandary is: does that guy continue or does he step away?
uh, I think it doesn't matter. Oh no, I say there's not an ethical part there, not too much because sometimes it can be a shit test, right, for
But what
both
if she
parties.
said right? But what if she says it multiple times? Isn't that like
Oh yeah, well yeah, then right,
clarifying the boundary? And the guy continue, like you know what I'm saying? Like there's that aspect too.
yeah, right, and that goes back to what I said, like it's still up to the girl because I've seen dudes like I'll watch dudes on YouTube who do like
Hmm.
pranks, right? Or like jokes, but they're essentially still approaching a girl and she'll be like, "Oh no, sorry, I have a boyfriend." And they'll say like, "Hey, but don't you want another one?" Or "Hey, like aren't you tired of him?" or something, right? And they're like, "No, I'm good." And they just keep walking away. So like, right, that shows you that no, they're not gonna cheat. They're not trying to cheat on their boyfriend. They're committed. So that's where it's still their choice. Like the dude doesn't go like keep chasing them afterwards. He kind of just right. He moves on or he just goes and talks to another girl.
Mm.
So right. So I think again, it's still ultimately down to the girl. She's the one who has to give you the number. She's the one who has to kick it with you. She's the one who has to. If she has a boyfriend, then she's the one who has to lie to him. She has to go around, sneak around, do all that. Obviously, she's doing that because there's something that she's not attracted to, and or she just like she's very promiscuous and just happens to get in a relationship that maybe she didn't even like want to, but she's in it because she was lonely or whatever the reason she got in. That wasn't authentic. So yeah, nah, I don't necessarily say that. Nah,
I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know. I mean, like, imagine if you were in a relationship with a chick that you really that you were really, whatever whatever word you want to
Yeah.
say, right? And then you find out that like she goes out and does that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you can make the argument. Well, the guy could have stopped if she said, "Hey, I have a boyfriend," but he continued. You know what I'm saying? You can make that argument too because she put her boundary and he continues to cross that boundary. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying like if you're like if we have a society of just dudes just keep like going after other dudes who has why like isn't that kind of like there's so many other single women out there, you know, that are hot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's so many hot
Yeah.
single women. Why are you going to go after the ones that are taken?
Yeah. I mean, I
You know what I'm
just
saying?
I guess I still don't see that, like, the, how can I say, I don't know. I guess I still don't understand, like, if she said no, but he keeps going, does he get it or he doesn't get it? Or is him just pushing that boundary enough to increase uh cheating? Like, I'm kind of confusing what the point is doing that on your end. Like, if she says I have a boyfriend, but he keeps still trying to holler at her,
Yeah.
how does that contribute to cheating if she
Well, I
does
mean, because
cheat?
he's pressuring her. You can make the argument that he's putting her in an uncomfortable situation, and he's pressuring her to sleep with him. Yeah, and then also like on the greater context, in a big, that's just one scenario, right? But
Yeah.
big society, like, would you want to live in a society where dudes are going after girls that are already in relationships? Like, I'm not saying like I see what you're saying that the girl can say stop or all that stuff, which is
Yeah.
she's saying that boundary already. She says it twice, and the dude continues. Like, isn't there a responsibility to just say, you know what? Okay, she said no. I'm just gonna walk away. Because then you can also get into other shaky territory, like legal territory. I'm not gonna get into like super specifics, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think what you're saying, like the pressuring, I mean, unless, like, if there's data or there's like people who really know what's up, in a sense of like,
Mhm.
I don't know, right? Again, right? It'd be just be other people's like uh life experiences or anything, then I'm cool to be wrong on it. But I just feel like that doesn't really happen the way you're saying it. I don't really think it happens where they're like pressuring these girls to give them a chance or sleep with them. Like, I don't think so. I think right, if the girl keeps saying no, she can block you. She can stop answering you if it's in person, right? She can
Mhm.
report you to HR if it's at work, or she can let the managers know, or if she doesn't want to even let them know, right? She can still avoid you. Like, I mean, they keep bringing it up, but um, I don't think they're necessarily going to feel forced in that way. I don't think that happens like that. I think the dude keeps trying, right? It might take him years or whatever to eventually get her, but she more likely will either, at that time, if she gives him a chance, it's either more that she's already trying to end the relationship, or they're going to end the relationship she's already in, or
Mhm.
the relationship is over and now she's giving him a chance. I think that's more how it happens. I don't really think it's like pressuring the girl. I haven't seen that. I don't really know much of that happening, so I don't think that happens. I would say maybe it does, maybe, right, maybe somewhere for sure, right? There's
Mhm.
always instances where it does happen, but I
Right.
don't
Right.
think
Right.
at a stage like that, I don't think that happens. I think it's just more like she said no, especially if you're approaching a girl, right?
Mhm.
She says no, 9 times out of 10, a lot of dudes are just gonna move on. They're not gonna keep it going, right? I mean, she keeps walking away, or hey, how you doing? She just keeps walking. That's why I have a boyfriend. Like, they're not gonna keep chasing her for it. They're just gonna be like, oh well, next.
Part of the problem, I think, what happens is that part of the problem is that women say that and don't mean it. So they'll lie to the guy, say I have a boyfriend, but then then you question her, like, because they lie about it as a shit test, like as we talked about, because that does
Yeah,
happen too. And then so the guy's like, well, she's lying. She's either lying or telling the truth. But if she's saying that, whether it's true or not, she's giving you a hint that she's not interested, right? She's indirectly telling you, I'm not interested. Whether the boyfriend is real or not, I think it doesn't matter. She's already telling you, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, what happens sometimes, and that's where it gets tricky. That's where it gets a little tricky because it's like some girls like to shit test more than guys, and they want to test them, and they want to make sure that they're the man, and then other girls don't do it as much, and then there's inconsistencies, and um, yeah, I guess that's where the issue comes.
Yeah, like I totally feel that in a sense. Right, that point. But then again too, right, there's girls who just they get off of stuff like that. Like, right, if a girl tells you, oh, I have a boyfriend, I'm not interested, and you try again, and then she's with it, then I think it was more like a test, right? Because again, it's just the girls who really don't want you are gonna either ignore you, or they're gonna give you signs
Right,
that
right.
they don't want this. Like, all right, move on or stop talking to me. They'll definitely let you know. But the girls who like, yeah, so I have a boyfriend, and then you're like, nah, but what's up, girl? Like, come on, I know you want to chill. Let's go dance. And then they go, all right. It's like, come on, like, come on, like there's a you can see day and night the difference of when a girl is messing around or when a girl is seriously like, hey, like straight up like, no, this is not happening. I mean, I've done a lot of approaches, so I've seen cool ones and I've seen like ones where they're like, nope, or they just walk past me, or they'll say, I have a boyfriend. I was like, oh, cool, have a good
I
day.
guess it would
Like
depend. It would
as you
depend on
move.
the woman's boundaries, right? Right. And like you said, women will sometimes back. I think Alex from Playing with Fire says this all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times women rationalize backwards and say, "Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
did this because of this. I did this because of that." Um, I don't know, man. Like I like talking to girls and stuff, but I think to me that's like whether the girl is true, whether it's true that she has a boyfriend or not. I think to me that's just like that she's already telling you, like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Um, and there has been instances where it's like the girl cheats and then the ex find the maybe the
Yeah.
boyfriend finds out and then he gets a gun, and that can happen too. So I mean, you're kind of when people advertise that they should continue to go, you're kind of also advertising to take that risk where it's like you could put your life in danger because there's some guys out there that are crazy. You know what I'm saying? There's guys that are unhinged and they're already there, and they just need that little thing is just enough to push them over the edge to like start stalking you and fucking getting like all that crazy stuff. So I don't know, like I think when people do promote that kind of stuff, it does promote that side, like domestic
Yeah.
violence and like that other type of violence. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of different a little bit from the first thing, right? Because at first it was like, hey, is dudes approaching girls and crossing that boundary contributing to affairs? But now, right, that's what's one thing. But now what you're saying seems more like the promotion of, hey, if she has a girlfriend or if she has a boyfriend and she has a boyfriend, you should go holler at her. I think that's right. That's different. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
same thing anymore. It's a different conversation, right? Or in that case, I would agree with you too. If you know she has a dude, right? If you know it, then
Mm-hmm.
I personally wouldn't be like, hey, bro, holler at her. Like, yeah, I wouldn't say no. I mean, I wouldn't say do it. Hell no. Nah,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, I don't know. I fuck. I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say yes, but I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, maybe the
But
relationship's
but
already
here's
ending and
here's
she's
here's the
down.
thing, right? Here's the thing. You just said you don't like girls shit test guys, and there's some girls get off of that, right?
Mhm.
But we don't really know if the dude on the other end, ex-con, it could be, I'm just saying like hypothetical, right?
No, yeah, yeah,
She can say shit test, you can say she can get off of it and all that stuff. But that dude on the other end could be that guy that's already on the fringes, and he just needs that one spark to just start going loco. You know what I'm saying? So I
yeah.
mean, yeah, you might have a good time for that one night, but then you got to worry about that dude stalking you and fucking flat tires and shit like that.
No,
So
yeah.
I mean,
That's why I wouldn't. Nah, go ahead, brother.
oh, I guess my thing is like when a girl's telling you pretty much like she has a boyfriend, I think to me that's already like whether she's lying to you or not, I think it's already you should just like move on. My opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, and
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
this is where we differ. Maybe this is where we differ, and that's completely
yeah,
fine. But I think there's also another side to that coin where guys don't talk about where because it happens. You know, it happens where it happens all the time where like dude is unhinged and he goes after the other dude.
like I feel it. I think for you it's more like black and white, right? It's if she has a boyfriend, just leave it alone. She tells you she has a boyfriend, just leave it alone. Me, I'm more nuanced. It has to depend on what the situation is.
Mm,
Like I said, I wouldn't advise any dude to do that, right? I wouldn't do it exactly for what you're saying. You never know if she really has a dude and right, he's crazy, he can hurt them. But if I know that I don't know, they're not living together, but they're still going out and they're already gonna break up. They're not even on talking terms,
oh,
but they're still
I think
going out.
that's different. I think
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it. Mine's
that's
is more
different. Yeah,
nuanced.
yeah.
Mine's is more nuanced. It depends on the situation. That's how I see it. So I think that's probably why we see it differently. It's just
Mm-hmm.
yours is black and white. Yours is just hey, if
Mm,
it is what it is, that's it. And I'm more like it really depends. Cause yeah, if I know she has a dude or like let's say her dude is hella cool, I know her dude. I'm not gonna go ahead and holler at her like what the heck, like that's not even cool. Like I'm not gonna go do that. But if it's a girl on the street and I'm randomly just meeting her for the first time, right? I don't normally I'm normally more like if she tells me she has a boyfriend, I'm normally like, cool, like hey, lucky guy or happy for you. You know, I'm normally
mm-hmm.
I leave it at that because I know, right? That's just me, right? It's just my abundance mindset. I know that I'm gonna go and talk to other girls. That's not even an issue. But
That's yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
my
that's the
point.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. But again, right? The dude doesn't know either. If he goes and he's like, oh, maybe the shit says, maybe it's not. Well, let me just see. Let me just find out, right? And they find out, right? Like, oh, is it a shit says, is it not? Well, let me just take that chance and try and see. And then like, oh, but who cares? Like, right? And then she's like, oh, I actually don't have a boyfriend. I just want to test you, right? Then you're like, oh, cool, I knew it. Or she's gonna be like, hey, I have a boyfriend. I don't want to talk to you, and she'll just walk away, which is gonna happen if you push that boundary, right? She'll fight it back and say, hey, I said no, and that's it, right? It's not really like you don't really lose anything by just trying, but right, if you really do know she has a boyfriend, so and they're really like, I don't know, if they're really happy and together, right? That's fucked up. You want to come and fuck that up to me, right? I don't like that. If you know they're
You,
happy, they want to
what do
be
they call it? You
together.
become a home wrecker, or what do they call it? Home
Exactly.
wrecker.
Yeah. You just come and
Yeah.
home wreck everything just because you want her because you want to take those down. I don't like that. Like I don't know what's fun about ruining people who are happy together. Let them be happy. Go get somebody else. But yeah, for me, just nuance. It depends. It has to depend. It just depends.
I don't know. Like you said, like to be having an abundant mindset would be also saying there are so many single people. Why do I have to? Why do I have to go after this one who told me no when there's so many other yeses, ready for me to go? Like, why do I have to go to this one where she's specifically telling me no? And I understand what you're saying. Girls should test all the time. Now, what would be in ideal world, women would say, you know what? They'll be more direct. They'll say, no, I don't have a boyfriend, but I'm not interested, right? Right. But what happens is that when you say something like I have a boyfriend, to then you're kind of confusing the men. You know what I'm saying? You're confusing men because then you're saying this when you don't have a boyfriend, but you're also saying it when you do have a boyfriend. So are you saying you don't have a boyfriend for the immediate? Are you saying you don't have a boyfriend because you're not interested? Are you saying you don't have a boyfriend in 2 weeks? Are you saying this ambiguity doesn't help the situation? And I think women could be better at having that communication, right? They
Yeah.
can say other things if they don't want to be direct because they're afraid of their safety because they're afraid that the dude's gonna go crazy. There's other ways you can say. There's other excuses you can say, right? Um, which I guess that's a whole separate conversation. But
Yeah.
I just think that yeah, that phrase, I guess to me maybe it's. I know you say black or white, but I just don't see why you would go after somebody who's telling you no if there's so many other women that were willing to say yes and that are single. that are still going to give you the other types of shit tests, but who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? Pass them
Yeah.
all, you know?
Yeah.
Or pass as many as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I feel that. I feel that for sure too. Yeah. But yeah,
Huh?
I guess.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're at.
We differ. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
And I guess
So
it would be
mm,
different. It's different, I guess, also like if she tells you afterward, right?
that she does or that she doesn't.
That she does.
Oh yeah, that's happened to dudes too before.
Where
They'll
it's
say
like
like they won't say
maybe
anything, right?
she's yeah, she won't say anything, and then guys, everything's cool, it happens, and then later, oh yeah, by the way, I gotta get home because X, Y, and Z is there. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, or sometimes some dudes their boyfriend calls the girl after they had just finished having sex. Like, hey, oh
Oh
baby,
yeah,
I love you. What are you doing? Or I hope you're having fun. And she just gave it up to you, and you're just like,
make it out.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
You're like, you have a
yeah,
boyfriend? Like, what the hell is this? You know? It's like what? And that happens to dudes too. And that's and that, again, right? That's a whole conversation too, because that's how
that's a
some men
whole
become
separate.
red pilled.
Yeah,
That's how you get
yeah.
red pilled in a sense. You're like, wait, some girls do this? Like what? Just how it catches you off guard too. So
And I think also in the study it talks more
that
about
sucks.
like situation like where women cheat situationally versus out of anger, and usually when they mean anger they mean out of revenge, which is kind of crazy, but yeah, some women
Oh
will
yeah,
will straight up will cheat out of just revenge because
yeah,
you didn't talk to them or you didn't do shit. And then the problem is that they, they maybe have an idea to do it, but then they go to their girlfriends again, and the girlfriends that are supposed to maybe help the relationship or whatever, then they're just gassing them up saying, oh yeah, fuck that dude, God, instead of encouraging her to like try to solve the issue or whatever, encouraging her to do bad behavior, and then yeah, there's no accountability. So and
yeah,
that's a whole
yeah,
separate and that's a whole separate podcast that we're gonna talk about, like women holding each other accountable. But yeah.
yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah, yeah. Because I guess the last thing I could say on that is just like, yeah, because like for me, it's like, hey, if let's say you found, right, I know like chicks gonna be like, I don't know what he's talking about, but I guess in an ideal world, right,
Yeah.
like if you knew your partner cheated on you and you were upset about it, right? There, some of them are like they want to get you back, so they'll like cheat on you with your best friend or your brother or a close relative, right, to get back at you, right? I mean, it'd be cool if you just broke up with him, and then I mean, I'm not saying do that, but right, if you were going to like bang somebody out of anger, it'd be cool if you just did it. If you just did it without being in a relationship, not because like what's it called? Not because damn, I had why not. But basically, at the end of the day, even though you do it, even though you feel somewhat satisfied, like yeah, I got him back, like that's still a mark on cheating. Like you still cheated, regardless of the situation. People will feel it. People will understand why you did it, but at the end, it's still a notch on the cheating board. So like, why do that to yourself down the line when you could just break up? Like, yeah, I broke up with him, you know what I mean? But I got him. I don't know. I got him back with his best friend. Like, oh well, you guys weren't. I mean, still horrible. The guy's gonna fucking feel like crap, right? You still got the job done, but at least you didn't cheat. Like, yeah, we broke up, but fuck it. I got with the best friend. At least it's still fucked up, but it's not as bad. It's not a notch in the cheating line. So it'd be cool if they were to do that, or a guy too, right? Damn, she cheated on me. Well, fucking, I'm gonna break up with her, and then I'm just gonna, I don't know, go meet somebody else, or go, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I
But
see what you're saying. Like, yeah,
that'd
we're
be cool.
like we talked about like what happens when the relationship starts to go sour, or like the steps it takes it where it starts to go sour. Um, and having to to instead of doing something to have an excuse to leave, then do what you wanted to do without having to break your word, so to speak. That makes sense. Like you
Yeah,
don't have why cheat where you could have just broke up and then done your single thing. You know what I'm saying? And live
yeah,
your
that, yeah,
best
that,
life.
yeah, yeah, that, yeah, that too. But yeah. So yeah,
Cool. I'm glad we had this discussion. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we had a little tension. It was cool.
yeah, had a little debate.
Yeah, a little mini
Yeah, that was
debate.
cool. Yeah, a little debate, which is cool. Eh? You know what I'm saying? We have sometimes we have difference of opinions, and it's cool to hear both point of views.
Likewise, yeah. I
So
think
I
it's
enjoy it for sure.
important to have have disagreements and be able to still be having cool friends and just talk shit.
Yeah, heck yeah, yeah. Because I mean, at the
Yeah,
end of the day, we're boys. Like whatever. I
yeah,
mean, obviously, right? We try to give out good advice, definitely. But I'm still boys. Like at the end of the day,
that's right.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like we're just having a discussion. Like, come on, we're not, we're not that serious, guys. Like, come on.
yeah. We're not like yeah. We're
Fuego
not
and
gonna
Sonrisa,
say
they got beef. What's going on their podcast? They got beef. Like, no, like, come on.
Here we go with the drama.
We have,
TMZ is
we
coming
have,
out.
yeah, we have a lot of conversations off camera where, right, there's things we disagree on with a lot of things. Just,
Hmm.
yeah, it is what it is. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah, but
I really enjoy these talks.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much I guess all I have. I mean, we got 9 minutes left, so right, yeah, I guess we
Yeah,
just call it a day then.
call it a day. And
But
and
yeah,
everybody who like this podcast, who think we should have more discussions about these type of topics, let us know. Like, comment, subscribe. Like always, we put a lot of effort into these topics. We try to have meetings and we try to talk about things. You know, um, when the camera is off, so that way we can give you some good content and keep you know doing what we're doing, helping you guys out. What do you think about before we sign off?
yeah, yeah.
What do you think about having like a part two of this discussion?
I'm down.
And and that we can talk about like signs, maybe signs a woman is cheating, and we could talk about the types of girls you should probably avoid.
Yeah, that'd be cool actually.
That too, and then things that yeah. So so we did the how and the why. We could talk about the types of girls and whatever the other thing I
I
just said.
guess I guess more red flags to look
Yeah,
out for.
yeah, red flags. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
top 5 red flags why you should run away. Nah.
If you see these, get the fuck out.
Hell yeah. But yeah, no, it sounds like a good idea. Yeah, we'll do that. And if yeah, guy, like you said, if there's anybody, you guys have any comments on this, any of your thoughts, if you want us to talk about anything, any questions to be answered, always feel free to drop it in the comment section. Let us know, so that we can bring it up. I mean, hey, the more the conversation, the better. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and before I sign off, just thank you guys so much. We like I said, we put a lot of work into it, and we appreciate your support. Keep following us for more content. We have a TikTok, we have Instagram, we have YouTube. That's where we post everything. Yeah. See ya.